jolly good.
Hello, boys and girls, ladies, gentlemen. My name's Light Zoka. Today I'll be talking about Borat. Very nice. Okay, I'm not going to talk like that throughout the entire film. Video film. Ugh. Might as well make my own mockumentary film starring Sacha Baron Cohen as who else? Borat. I've actually seen this film before. I think about 4 or 5 years ago. I got it. I mean, I didn't see it when it came out because what is it? It's rated 15, and I would have been about, I guess, like 5, 6 when it came out. I was way, way too young to watch it. I'll be very, very honest. So yeah, Borat. What else can be said about Borat that hasn't been said already? It's actually one of the. How do I put this? It's one of the most controversial films out there. Although I wouldn't say it's like a storytelling film in a way, it's more of a mockumentary. However, this film goes for that Eric Andre show, that Jackass stuff, where there are actors playing fictional characters, but they're messing around and playing with audiences' expectations or people's expectations. So kind of like Phone Jacker in the UK or Devo, like Uncle fucking Devil on that. Borat is kind of going for the same thing, really, and so Borat's actually a character on a show that Cohen did. I forgot what it was called, but it had like Ali G, it had Bruno, it had I think Nobby as well. I don't know, or the Dictator as well. I think Borat was probably like the most popular character as well. So I have watched Ali G in the House, which is a film with who else? Ali G. That was just fine. I've not seen Bruno, the Dictator. I've heard Grimsby's not that good, and the only one I have seen is Borat, and also the sequel, Borat. What's it called? It's got a very funny title. Borat. Subsequent film. No, movie film is on Amazon Prime. I'll be watching that soon. But first, let's talk about Borat. Because why not? So, what is Borat about? Well, it's about Borat, who's played by Sacha Baron Cohen. He goes over to America from his country, and okay, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his town name because I'm going to forget. He goes there to learn about what Americans do over there with his friend Azamat. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know if that's his cousin or friend. It's one or the other. He goes there to learn about the US tradition and all that. However, at the same time, he wants to go to California to meet this Baywatch actress. I think Pamela Anderson. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And I mean, he's supposed to be making a documentary about America, but he's too focused on trying to look for this Baywatch actress who looks hot and nice, I guess. Very nice. Never gets old. Um, if you've watched a mockumentary before, you know exactly what to expect. Borat pretty much just goes out and just tries to be as. The film goes for the most shocking, nasty, unexpected things just to play with audiences' expectations. And usually, especially in the UK, I'm not a big fan of that. You know, when people try and like shock other people, make them jump, and they go, "Hey guys, can you do this for me?" And then like I don't know, like they lose their head goes off, and then it's like they're taller, and then people go, "Oh my god!" And it's like, "What are you?" It's one of those films where it's like a prank. However, this is actually an actor playing as And even throughout the film, they don't even recognize who Sacha Baron Cohen is, which is weird. And at times, I can't tell if the film is like staged or it's all actually real. There are times where I can tell the film is pretty much like off script, and there is a script in the film, but it's like when Borat interacts with other people, and when something goes wrong, he actually has to, talk to them in his own way, which is like it talks like this, like I go there, and uh, he talks like like a dyslexic person would type. It's like I go home, I go to US and A, then that. I love the way he says US of A. It's like US and A and stuff like that. The film just pretty much just has the director, everyone in the film is just having a laugh with just making fun of politics and just making fun of what the American traditions, and it's not like offensive or anything. I can see people getting superly offensive by this film, really. But personally, for someone who is not offended by racism or any like racial comments or anything at all, if you tell me a racist joke, I would have found that funny. Someone else might have not as well. If it's offensive, again, wouldn't affect me. It might affect other people, but not me. Borat says the most hysterical things in this film. When he greets someone, when he greets a man, he shakes their hand and he kisses them. You know when they do like that on the side of the cheeks, which I never really got. I'll be very honest with you. He does that to the men, and it's like, oh God. When he was talking to one of the people in America, he actually comes across a gay community festival, and one of them tells him what homosexuality means, and his reaction is just hysterical. There's also a scene where a guy says that he's retired from making construction, and he's like, retarded, like physical and mental, and it's like, oh no, he didn't mean retard, he mean retired, like not working. There are so many great scenes where the character just tries to play with the audience's expectations by going one step further, one step too far, to just to make a really dark but effective joke. And I'll be honest, throughout the entire film, it was legit funny. Now and then there would have been like oh god, here we go, he's going to do something, and then there's going to be fucking security saying like you have to go, and it's like this is going to go horribly wrong. And being a comedy, the character of Borat actually, how do I put this? You know those films where like a character wants to get something, like something cool, something amazing, but they get something that's like not what they were looking for. So he wants to buy a Hummer to run over some gypsies and Jews, but he buys like this ice cream van, and he wants a pet to protect him, so he gets a bear. So this is like, it's very outrageously unexpected, but it's like, for a comedy, it does kind of make sense, I'll be very honest. There are a couple of scenes in the film where it did kind of put me off, especially when Borat and his friend were fighting. Like, his friend is actually jacking off to Anderson, to the girl that Borat wants, and then they both start fucking fighting naked. I get it, it's supposed to be comedy, but it doesn't always land. It just gets a bit uncomfortable seeing a fully grown man and a very heavyweight man, and I'm not going to call him fat because that's quite rude, but it's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I find scenes where the characters are fully naked just uncomfortable. No homo, by the way, no homo, because I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual at all, I'm just saying, right? When he actually does find the actress, it feels a little bit anticlimactic, but knowing that this film is just there just to play with the audience's expectation and just being just a really funny mockumentary, it is what you would expect from Borat, at least. The story, while it's not really movie worthy, it's actually done just mostly by going off top, well, going off script, there are a few points where it did look like the film was a little bit staged. I can tell, but mostly it's like, yeah, this does look like they're trying to just go with whatever everyone else is going with and trying to do the best they can to make comedy. And it works. It doesn't go too far, but when it does, it's hilarious and it feels genuine. And I say genuinely funny, but just not genuine by heart. So yeah, I think the comedy, I think the situations is really what makes this film feel more like an actual mockumentary than I can imagine. Granted, it's not technically it's not a mockumentary, but there is like a cameraman that does follow Borat around, so you could say it is, but I think it is. Visuals. Not really much to say about the visuals, really. I'll give it that it does capture the look of an actual, like, this is like in the mid 2000s, and there are scenes where it does kind of look like the cameraman was using like a different camera to record Borat doing some wacky stuff. Even the country that Borat comes from looks very. It looks quite nice, but it looks funny nice, I suppose. America does look quite nice, although there are times where it does look a little too average. It's decently well shot, I think, and there are some visually funny. Trying to think. Some funny visual gags here and there as well. And Borat looks pretty nice. Very nice. I'm never going to get tired of saying that because that is a really funny quote. It's one of my favourite lines in the film. I know it's just like a very simple catchphrase. He does like, "How fun? It's very nice." Come on, it's. I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, that's all I've got to say about it. On one hand, it's a pretty standard looking film. On the other, it's still well shot and it does feel like a documentary. It feels like a TV show where the cameraman would follow the presenter. Although I did notice at times that was there actually more than one cameraman, because there are a few points where the camera would cut from one side of the room to the other. And this was when Borat's not on television. It's like, is there like two camera people following him? I thought there was just one. Because now and then when Borat runs, the cameraman has to run after him. But then there's like, it would cut from one shot to the other. I'm like, is there other cameramen in the place as well, in the area? It's a bit weird. I'm not going to lie, actually. But despite that, I think visually it does capture how mockumentaries are supposed to go. The country that Borat's from is quite amusing. It's a pretty basically decently well shot film, but just nothing outstanding. Characters and acting. I say that in a very questionable way because the character of Borat is just Sacha Baron Cohen just being himself but still having fun with Borat. And Borat is fucking hilarious. I think he's one of the funniest main characters that Sacha Baron Cohen has played. It's just he's very amusing, and the things he does is quite outrageous and funny as well. Especially when he has like, remember that freaking Borat swimsuit that was kind of a thing back then? That's really funny as well. When he's like driving around in this ice cream van is quite funny, and when he interacts with other people, it's like, that's not how people would talk, but it makes sense coming from the character of Borat. It really does make sense. And his friend, although he's more of the straight man, he is quite funny when he tries to convince Borat to go back to New York, and he even lies to Hazamat about the girl, and he's like, we're going to California, it's nice, we do a documentary there, and all that. The people in the film are just regular people, and they don't even know that this is. I mean, they're aware that Borat has come to their country to learn about it, but they're not aware that it's actually a film. which is kind of funny. But I'm like, when the film came out, I was wondering if they like knew about how controversial and how like too far it went. I've heard that the people who were in it tried to protest or like trying to get rid of the film or something like that. I mean, have a fucking sense of humor, alright? This film is not exactly light-hearted, but it's just making fun. It's just taking the piss. So you can either just watch it or don't. The other people are just there just to talk to Borat and tell him about America. And when Borat fucks up, they start to get a little bit pessimistic and a bit annoyed, really. There's also a character, I think, played by... Let me have a look. Is it Lunel, who's like this stripper or prostitute? I think that she is an actual actress. I think I've seen her in a few films. I think she does look very familiar. I think she plays as that love interest for Borat. She's quite funny, a little bit. Yeah, that's it. The acting, at least from Borat and I'm gonna forget his name. Azamat, who's played by Ken Davitation, if that's how you pronounce his name, are pretty good. And Sacha Baron Cohen, although if I mess him without knowing that this was a film, I would 100% tell that it's him. But he plays the character so well at a point, it's like you can't tell it's either him or someone pretending to be him. But he's really good. He really plays off with the accent and everything just so brilliantly. And all the other people, like, again, Azamat and everyone else, they do a good job. But the people who are oblivious to the whole documentary thing and they're not aware that it's actually a film, some of them actually do kind of go along with all the funny stuff, but the rest are like, yeah, we're not going to put up with that. So, with a very funny main character and a pretty funny actor playing that character, Borat is pretty funny, and he gets funnier every time. And I'm going to stop doing that because it's getting annoying a little bit. I haven't seen this film in about 5 years. I'll admit, I still really like it, but yeah, there's not much I can say. Borat is a pretty funny mockumentary film with great humour. The idea of it is kind of insane, but they pull it off so well. I'm surprised that it hasn't been banned. I imagine this film is probably banned in like other countries, to my knowledge, anyways. Visually, it does capture the look of a documentary film quite well. Borat himself is a very funny character. However, and the humour is just fucking brilliant. It doesn't go too far, but it has just enough to make it feel like it's just taking the piss out of politics and the Americans. It's brilliant. Although despite that, the film can sometimes be a little bit too, oh, we're going there again. It's a visually basic looking film, and the people that Borat talks to, they're very oblivious to the acting, and they're just doing exactly what they should and just have a reaction to it, you know. So yeah, I really like Borat. I don't think it's perfect, but you know, it's good fun. I'll give it a 9.3 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's a pretty nice, funny film. If you don't mind a film taking the piss out of politics or racial slurs or religious elements, you'll have fun with this. If you get easily offended by anything that Borat does, you will not like it. I wouldn't be surprised if there are people that fucking hate this film for what it does. But personally, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Borat! So I will be watching the sequel very soon. Can't wait for that. It's been 15 years since the first film came out, and now we've got a sequel, which is cool. So yeah, look out for that. And what do you think of Borat? It's a good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Until next time, have fun. The net.